Hello students. So today's topic for our discussion is types of transmission system. So for that purpose, I want to share my screen. So if we see the transmission, the word transmission means the whole of the mechanism that transmits the power from the engine crankshaft to the rear wheels, providing the suitable variations of the engine torque at the road wheels whenever required. This is the meaning of transmission. If we see the transmission system, which includes the engine, clutch, transmission, drive shaft, rear wheel, and differential gearbox. How the operation takes place. In engine, we use petrol or diesel that burns, which creates the power that transmits the rotation towards the gearbox. This gearbox is called as transmission in this case. The power is transmitted towards the gearbox or transmission through this clutch. From this transmission, the outer shaft, which is connected to the drive shaft, and this drive shaft which rotates the differential gearbox. The bevel gears are provided in differential gearbox, which transmits the rotation towards the wheels, which is approximately in 90-degree directions. If we see the types of transmission, different types are available. That is manual transmission, fully automatic transmission, semi-automatic transmission, continuously variable transmission. So these are the different types. If we see the first type, that is manual transmission, the components are clutch, then gearbox, differential gearbox. If we see the clutch, it is a device which carries a power from engine to drive wheel through the shafts. It is located between the flywheel and gearbox. If we see the diagram, this is the clutch cover. This is the flywheel connected to engine crank. Then this is lay shaft into gearbox. We separate all these components. So this part is called as clutch plate. Then this is clutch anti-shock spring. Then lay shaft splines. Then pressure plate, diaphragm springs are also available. Spring pivots are available. Then throw out bearings. These are the components related to clutch. If we see the construction of clutch, this is diaphragm type of clutch. The name of the components becomes this is clutch plate, which is yellow in color here. This is the flywheel. This is clutch cover. Pressure plate is there. Throughout bearing, diaphragm spring. All these components are provided here. If we apply the clutch, okay, the disengagement takes place, and we can easily shift the gear and we can easily change the speed. Okay, so in this way, this is the type of clutch. How it works: when we press this pedal, foot pedal, then then clutch is in active mode, and here we are able to change the speed, or we can able to change the gear. Okay, this is in disengaged condition. If we see here, this is the pressure plate which is not in contact with this flywheel. Types of clutches: this is single plate clutch. Okay, so in this single plate clutch, you see here These are the bolts provided on the single plate clutch. Okay, different types, that is two types of clutches are available: single plate clutch and multi-plate clutch. The space required in multi-plate clutch is less in radial direction, but in case of single plate clutch, the space required in radial direction is more. In multi-plate clutch, if we see the diagram, these are the components. This is the cutting view of the multi-plate clutch. Third type is also available there, that is cone clutch. As the shape of this clutch is conical, so it is called as cone clutch. This is the clutch control, this is the spring, this is friction material, and this is spline shaft. Electromagnetic clutch is also available nowadays. So electric and magnetic field is used in this clutch, and according to that, this gets work. Centrifugal type of clutch is also available. So here centrifugal force is applied for moving the clutch, and it moves outward direction. So in this way, this centrifugal clutch works. So next part, which is related to this transmission system, is gearbox. So if we observe here, different types of gears are available. So helical gears are shown here, then spur gears are available. Okay, then spline type of gears are available. So these are the different types of gears shown in this gearbox. How it works? So when the clutch and gears are in engagement position, then the shaft rotates. This is called as main shaft. As this shaft rotates, this is connected to this gear. So this gear is also rotating. So this gear is connected with this gear. So this gear, upper gear, transmits the rotation towards the bottom gear. This bottom gear is connected to this main shaft or lay shaft. Then all these gears are also rotated with same speed, which is coming from this engine. Okay, on the left side, engine is available, and from that engine, this shaft gives the power or transmits the power towards the lay shaft or bend shaft. And here, for the shifting of gears, these dog clutches are used, which is showing in this diagram by using purple color. Okay, so here one rod is available, and this is nothing but that is our gearbox changing lever. Okay, so this lever used for changing the or for applying the gears. So if we want to apply the first gear, then the speed of the vehicle gets reduced, but torque gets increases. So in this way, the gear is shifted towards the, that is smaller diameter gear, towards the major diameter gear. Okay, if we want to reduce the speed, but if we want to increase the speed, then this gear can transmit maximum diameter gear towards the less diameter gear. So in this way, the speed gets changed. If we see the gear ratio, it is the ratio of the number of teeth on the driven wheel to the number of teeth on the driver wheel, or the speed of rotation of the driver to the driven. Example, G is equal to 20 upon 10. So number of teeth on this gear is 20, and that V pinion is 10. So 2:1 is the gear ratio. And generally smaller gear is called as a driver, or at the in this case driver, for driver purpose we use smaller diameter teeth. Types of gearbox: so constant mesh gearbox is there, then synchro mesh type gearbox is there, sliding mesh type of gearbox is also available. So in case of constant mesh, these are the different components which is available. So this is the clutch, this is output shaft, first gear, second gear, third gear, then selector, fork, dog gear, Okay, that is dog clutch also available there. Fourth gear, fifth gear. This is the lay shafts. Then dog gear, if we observe near from the near, this is the dog gear, and this is the dog teeth on inside of dog gear. So dog teeth on front of fourth spline gear. Okay. Then selector of fork slides dog gear backwards or on slide shaft so that dog teeth engages, and in this way we change the speed. Next is synchromesh type gearbox. So synchro collar is provided here, and cone shaped synchro collar engages the cone shaped races in the helical gear, bringing the dog gear up to the speed. Sliding mesh type of gear, if we see this diagram, this is actually structure inside the gearbox. Okay, and this gear change lever is available here. So when we want to go, or we want the maximum torque at the initial condition, so we go on first gear. So if we want to increase the speed but reduce the torque, then we go towards the third gear or fourth gear. In this way this gets work. This is the clutch gear, then this is the first gear, second gear, third, fourth gear numbers, and this is the rear gear. That is, if we want to move the vehicle in the backward direction, then we apply the rear gear. So first gear in this position, we already know this is the first gear position. If we see the vehicle, any four-wheeler, which is having manual transmission system, then this is the first gear. Okay. So in case of first gear, this smaller wheel or smaller gear engages with this big size gear, and in this way speed is less in this condition. At the time of second gear, in this case also speed is less. Okay. In case of third gear, the maximum size diameter is connected with minimum size diameter. So maximum amount of speed is transmitted on this output shaft. And in case of fourth gear also, the size of the gear is again big size, and small size gear is attached along with this. And so the maximum amount of speed is again available in the fourth gear. In case of uh, the next, that is reverse gear. So in case of reverse gear, the direction of rotation gets changes, and so the vehicle moves in the backward direction. If we see the sliding mesh, the oldest and the simplest type of transmission, it is per gears were used in this sliding mesh, and main shaft gears, that is plying to the main shaft. Gear shift is achieved by sliding the gears on main shaft. Low mechanical efficiency is there and noisy operation. This is about the sliding mesh. If we see the constant mesh arrangement, the gears on the main shaft and lay shaft are in constant mesh. Main shaft gears are free to rotate. Then gear engagement is achieved by dog clutches splined to the main shaft. Helical gears are used here. Okay. And in case of synchro mesh, gears are in constant mesh. Instead of dog clutch, synchronizer unit is used. Each pair of gear has one synchronizer unit. Gears are first brought into frictional contact, which equalizes their speed, after which the actual engagement takes place. So if we see the differential, this is again one of the component of transmission system. If we observe the gears, this green part is nothing but this yellow color, and green color becomes the gears, and these gears are bevel gears. The main feature of the bevel gear is it is able to transmit the rotation in 90-degree. This is the main feature in differential gearbox, and generally this differential is available at the rear portion of the vehicle. So engine is generally located at the front portion. So from the propeller shaft, the rotation is coming from the engine towards the differential gearbox, and in case of differential gearbox, rotation is transmitted towards the rear wheels, and in this way that vehicle gets moved. Differential is a mechanism which provides the different speed to tires at cornering. It provides the equal torque on both the tires, not power. From the differential, power is transmitted to the rear axle, and from there to the wheels. So types of differentials: the open type differential, limited slip differential, locking differential, and auto limited slip differential. These are the different types available in the case of this transmission system. So in this way, we'll learn about the that transmission system, and different types of transmission systems we already discussed in this lecture. Then we see the components, that is engine, then gearbox is related to this, then clutch is related to this, propeller shaft is related to this, then differential gearbox is related to this. Okay, all this system which is related to this transmission system. Okay, so we stop here. Thank you.